Something is shifting in Houston. You can feel it in the air. We are chasing that elusive Super Bowl trophy, and the foundation is changing right before our eyes. The draft picks are in, the uniforms are being fitted, and there is a heavy sense of urgency surrounding NRG Stadium. This isn't just about depth. It's about finding the missing pieces to a championship puzzle. If you are a real Texans fan, hit that like button and subscribe right now. We are building something special, and you need to stay locked in as this roster evolves for the future now. The news coming out of rookie minicamp is starting to paint a very specific picture of how DeMeco Ryans wants to attack this season. We brought in a class that isn't just here to fill space. They are here to challenge the veterans. Take Keelan Rutledge, for example. When the Texans took him at pick 26, it wasn't just a selection. It was a statement about the interior of our offensive line. There is a very real scenario where Rutledge could walk into camp and snatch that starting center spot away from Jake Andrews. It's that quiet tension that makes this offseason feel different. We are a team with Super Bowl aspirations, and the margin for error is razor thin. But then you look at the defensive side with Caden McDonald. We lost some heavy hitters in the interior defensive line during free agency, and that left a massive void. McDonald is being talked about as a potential day-one contributor because of his size and his ability to stop the run. But here is the thing. Moving from the Ohio State system into a wide nine front is a massive transition. There is buzz that it might take him longer than we want to see. And honestly, that's where the emotional weight of this offseason starts to settle in. We need these guys to be ready, but are we asking too much too soon? The identity of this team has always been about toughness and consistency. If these rookies can't bridge the gap between their college tape and the professional speed, we might find ourselves in a difficult position early in the year. Now, this is where it gets interesting because it's not just about the first rounders. It's about guys like Marlon Klein, the tight end from Michigan. He has the athletic upside to be a vertical threat, something that could take pressure off Dalton Schultz. But with less than 400 yards in college, there is speculation that he might be a project rather than a producer. It feels like every single one of these 8 selections carries a massive weight. We aren't just looking for roster filler. We are looking for the sparks that ignite a deep playoff run. The atmosphere around the facility is focused, but you can sense the pressure building on these young shoulders. Every single rep matters. Deepening this analysis, we have to talk about the real risks involving the offensive line depth. Febechi Nwaiwu is a name that some insiders are keeping a very close eye on. If the Texans decide they want a total youth movement, there is a path where Nwaiwu forces his way into a starting role, potentially shifting the entire dynamic of the front five. Imagine a scenario where a fourth-round rookie forces a veteran like Wyatt Teller to the bench. That is the kind of roster consequence that changes a locker room. It creates a competitive fire, but it also creates uncertainty. Can we really trust a rookie-heavy interior when the season is on the line? It feels like the coaching staff is walking a tightrope between development and immediate results. The fan concern here is obvious. We've seen what happens when an offensive line doesn't gel quickly. It can derail an entire season. And then there's the linebacker room. Wade Woodaz has that classic NFL size and the ability to hunt down ball carriers, which fits exactly what DeMeco Ryans wants to do. There is a lot of chatter that he could challenge Henry To'oTo'o for those valuable LB2 or LB3 reps. But To'oTo'o is a seasoned pro at this point. For a rookie to come in and take those snaps, they have to be nearly perfect. The pressure on Woodaz is immense, because our run defense has been such a focus of the offseason tweaks. If he isn't ahead of schedule, the depth behind Azeez Al-Shaair starts to look a bit thin. We are in a window where every mistake is magnified. This isn't the rebuilding era anymore. This is the era of expectations. The uncertainty in the secondary is another layer to this story. Kamari Ramsey has the versatility that this coaching staff loves, but he is entering one of the strongest units on the entire roster. To overtake guys like Jalen Peter or Reed Blankenship, he would need a legendary training camp. Reports suggest he has the mentality to do it, but breaking into a locked-in starting 5 is a tall order. It creates this fascinating dynamic where we have high-end talent waiting in the wings, but no clear path to the field. That tension is what drives a championship culture, but it also leaves fans wondering what happens if an injury occurs. We must stay ready. But this is where things change. The conversation shifts from can they play to how soon do they have to play. This is the strongest retention point of the entire draft class narrative. If you look at the wide receiver room, the stakes are even higher. We have Nico Collins and Jaden Higgins as the clear leaders, but that third spot is wide open. Lewis Bond is coming in with unique route running skills and massive experience from Boston College. There is a path where he becomes a key contributor early, but he's fighting against Tank Dell and Jalen Noel. The emotional looping here is constant, because every time we think the roster is set, a new rookie pops up with a reason to be on the field. This could become something much bigger than just a depth chart battle. It's about the identity of the Houston Texans moving forward. Are we a team that relies on proven veterans, or are we brave enough to let the kids play? The Super Bowl pressure is real, and it's hanging over every practice rep, and that's the biggest question. If one of these late-round guys like Aiden Fisher, who was a captain on a championship-winning defense, shows that he has the leadership and the IQ to play at this level, do you find a way to get him on the field? He might lack the ideal size, but you can't coach the championship mindset he brings from Indiana. The future tension is palpable because we know the talent is there, but the transition period is the unknown variable. Some are saying this could be the best draft class in recent memory for Houston, while others worry that we are relying too heavily on unproven talent in key areas. The emotional escalation comes from the realization that we are one injury away from needing these rookies to be stars. That is the reality of the NFL. We are building a roster meant to survive a 17-game grind, but the implications of these young players failing to adapt are massive. It could be the difference between a first-round exit and a trip to the big game. Every snap in minicamp, every meeting, and every film session is building toward a moment where one of these names has to step up in the clutch. It's intense. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this actually worries me a little bit. I really like this move to bring in aggressive, versatile talent, but the lack of veteran insurance in some of these spots is a gamble. I think fans should pay attention to how the interior offensive line battles shake out because that is the heart of our offense. If Keelan Rutledge isn't the plug-and-play starter we hope he is, things could get messy fast. I want to be optimistic, and there is plenty of reason to be. Seeing a guy like Caden McDonald celebrate a tackle for loss in college makes you dream of him doing the same thing in a Texans jersey. But the transition to a wide-nine front is no joke. It requires a level of explosiveness and technical soundness that takes years to master. I'm balancing hope and concern here because I see the vision, but I also see the potential pitfalls. This move to go young and hungry is exactly what a team needs to stay relevant, but it also opens the door for growing pains. And on a team with Super Bowl aspirations, growing pains can be fatal. I really like the upside of someone like Marlon Klein, but hearing that he might need a year of working behind the scenes makes me wonder if we have enough depth at tight end right now. We are counting on Dalton Schultz to carry a heavy load. This is why the insider perspective is so important. It's not just about who is drafted. It's about how they fit into the specific culture DeMeco is building. I truly believe there is a hidden tension in the building between wanting to win now and wanting to build a sustainable powerhouse. You can feel it in the way the coaches talk about these players. They are excited, but they are also incredibly demanding. It feels like every single rookie is being put through a trial by fire. I think we should be cautiously optimistic because the talent is undeniable, but we have to be realistic about the learning curve. If these guys hit, we are the most dangerous team in the AFC. If they don't, we are going to be scrambling for answers by mid-October. That is the line we walk. The story of the 2026 Texans rookie class is just beginning to be written, but the opening chapters are already full of suspense. We are watching a franchise evolve in real time, shifting from a team that was just happy to be there to a team that expects to win it all. The unresolved tension in the locker room and on the practice field is going to define the coming months. Will Keelan Rutledge become the anchor we need? Will Caden McDonald solidify the middle of that defense? These aren't just names on a roster. They are the future of the Houston Texans. The future is uncertain, and that's what makes this journey so incredible. Something bigger is still coming, and I can't wait to see how these battles in the trenches and the secondary resolve themselves. We are standing on the edge of a new era, and the emotional anticipation is at an all-time high. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Which one of these rookies do you think has the best chance to start week 1? Are you worried about the depth, or do you trust the vision? Drop your thoughts below because I read every single one of them. If you love this team as much as I do, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a beat of this journey. We are the Texans faithful, and the road to the Super Bowl starts now. Let's win it.